Welcome back to the Coaches Unscripted podcast. I'm your host, Trey Belcher. With me, as always, my tag team partner, Corey Smallwood. How's it going, Corey?
It's going great, Trey. How are you?
How's it going? Well, glad to see that you made it through the intro this time. like Meatloaf said, 1 out of 3 ain't bad.
I'm shocked. Wasn't trending in my favor. Let's put it that way.
And joining us today is a friend of the program, Jason DeRose. He is the founder and owner of Faster Fitness in Robinson Township and Monaco, Pennsylvania, and the founder of GymSups.org, a private label supplement company. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason DeRose. Welcome in, bud.
What's up, fellas? Thanks for having me today. Super pumped to talk some shop.
We're glad to have you, and thankfully we all got to hang out a couple weeks ago to Perform Better, so it hadn't been too long since we've seen each other, but you're dabbling in a couple different areas, and I think it's an interesting juxtaposition to see your gym business and your supplement business and how you manage those things, because it can't be easy. It can't be a little bit here and a little bit there. So I'm just curious how you manage all these things and what your day looks like, what your week looks like, and how your teams help you manage all these things.
That's a really good question. Sometimes I ask myself that, how does all this happen? But, when you said the word team, that's the biggest piece of it. Having the right team in place and having the right systems around that team to make them successful and have everything run in a functional way is how it's done. I don't know how anyone could run like a multi-leveled business without really good people. And then probably as important is just having super, really tight systems that they know, how to function in those roles. Monday we get the checklist come out from each of our, team members, from each of their kind of departments and things like that. Knowing that every week and having all those kind of those pillars and those foundations put in place, make it all run and happen. When you lose a key, part of that team, it's a tough situation. I got to get my feet wet a lot more than I would like to sometimes. It's creating a really good foundation and setting them up for success, to make life better for everybody, them and everyone involved.
And I say that a lot when I go into gyms and I consult with them and I say, well, show me your systems. And that's one of the things they look at me like, huh? Like, show me your 90-day marketing calendar. Show me what are you guys working on today? And that's one of the things that I help develop and when I consult with them. But was that something that when you started your flagship location years ago, was that something that you had prior to, or was that through trial and error that you kind of discovered these systems? Because you do run a really successful, well, now 2 training gyms. Was it an afterthought? Was there ever a moment where, oh my gosh, I need to get these systems in place, or might not end up going great?
Definitely one of those situations that I didn't completely sync. We were having a ton of success, like you said. We were busy as all get out, but I was training 70 hours a week, at least. I was the bookkeeper, and I just had it in my brain for the most part and on like pieces of scratch paper. I'm like, I'm going to die if I don't fix this. So I got a mentor, and that's one of the most important things you can do. That gentleman, probably a lot of people know, is Rick Mayo. I hooked up with him and Frank Nash back in like 2014. I've had my gym for almost 18 years. So I was doing it, getting by with like piecemealing systematic things together. In 2011, I went and saw Todd Durkin. It was the first time I was exposed to like systems. I built some systems and things like that, but then I also, because of what I learned there, we grew it. I was like giving myself more jobs and less time for myself. Then around 2014, like Rick, and then he really pointed me in the right direction. Oh, wow, I've done this before. Yeah, by 2016, I was probably down to like 20 hours a week on the floor. I wanted to keep those. And really, probably since 2018, 19, really, I'll train Friday mornings. I have my 6 a.m. people for years. We do a little boxing class, but outside of that, I'm not on the floor. And just really, I'm kind of the puppet master, making sure all those systems are being made correctly. Meeting with the team, it performed better. We all talked a lot of gym about it. The biggest piece of advice in terms of what's it, why have you been successful? Why have you had success in your gyms? To have a great team and know that you're there for them. Like, meet with them every week. Does it take time? Yeah, I got 2 gyms and all the people we have in the supplement company. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. You meet with them. How are you feeling? What's going on today? How's it work? How's it like working with Matt? Matt's kind of an overbearing. Knowing those things, and some of those meetings, you guys know it's 30 seconds to 5 minutes. Some of them are 30 minutes, it depends on what's going on. But if you do that continuously, it definitely helps, keep your systems in place and everybody happy. Biggest piece of advice I can give anyone. If you're looking to remove yourself a little bit from the day-to-day operations stuff, be there for them.
Yeah, you talked about how important it was for you to have a mentor, and any gym owner, operator, manager have their mentors. You then are the mentor of your staff. So that's I
100%.
think a huge critical component to any successful business is that trickle down mentorship.
For sure. And you guys know the worst thing that for us as a business owner, or same thing goes with employees, I feel like you're on an island. You're just by yourself. It's a crappy feeling. So if they know that you're there to truly have their back and their best interest, it goes a long way. Makes your life, makes my life way better in the long end. I don't have this little tiny little molehill that created this giant Mount Kilimanjaro. I don't know.
So when you went from having no real systems, keeping it in your head, and then implementing the systems into your gym, how did that work for your members? The people that are used to things being one way, and then you come in and you say, all right, guys, we're changing things. We need to streamline things. In your head, it's going to be better for you. But as an owner dealing with the people, how did those conversations go? Was it an easy process? Was it a difficult transition? Did they have a hard time with it? Or were they like, hey, anything that makes it easier on you, we're here for?
It definitely wasn't that part. At the end of the day, most of them really don't care how hard it is for you. But I hung around a lot. I was there. I was present. I might not have been the trainer on the floor, but I was there. Hey, how you doing? How you feeling? Good. Walking through, and then go in my office and do my day. I was still doing that. And then really the way that I got out of that, doing my supplement stuff and those things, it was a very inconvenient time for the entire world. But in 2020, everything shut down. When we relaunched, reopened, it was way easier. It was like this excuse of freaking COVID that no one could really be salty about it. There was nothing you could do about it. That's when we really took it to the next level through our gym business, even more than it was, because we were able to scale it without having tons of, there wasn't a lot of rebuttal on what we were doing because of COVID. I've been wanting to do that whole process that we did since 2018, I was afraid to. We're having so much success. I'm like, man, I want to rock the boat. What if people quit? Our one location, we were over 300 members at personal training clients, like my private, like we were rolling. I was just afraid to make a big drastic change. But when COVID happened, I was like, hey, when we reopen in 3 months, it's a healthy time.
Well, to follow up with that, that's a process that I'm going through right now. And I ask that not only just to help others, but really just to get your feedback for me and to prepare myself for what may happen with my people. Corey and I, we've joked about this and talked about this. I came at everything backwards. Everything I do, I've done backwards. And this all started as a hobby. So streamlining these business systems and streamlining these processes and getting the systems in place is where I am now. And to do it not with the benefit of a COVID break, but just to get these things in, just to see how your people reacted to it. But, those are the reasons why I'm even asking those questions now.
Trey, I will say this. I cheated off of someone that was a lot smarter than me, too. When in 2019, I think it was 18 or 19, right before the pandemic, I was out at Alloy at Rick Mayo's original place in Georgia, and they were downsizing it ton when I was there, and I was listening to the conversations he was having with the members. He made it sound like they were getting like the best gym in the entire world. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Like he was taking it to my zone, like all kinds of stuff. It was how he told it to them that they believed that it was going to be even better. At the end of the day, was it better? Probably. It was smaller. The trainers were closer to the clients. It was more intimate. It's how he sold. I remember standing there listening. Wow, that's how you run this play. It's all about, hey guys, sorry, we're going to downsize some space here. It's not going to be as big anymore. We're going to make it tighter, like more intimate here. Like, the trainer's going to know when you need a spot quicker, and we're going to know your goals better and all that type of stuff. So I would definitely say I downloaded that in my brain when I watched that happen. I am definitely using that. And that's what I taught to my staff. I'm like, guys, redo this. Like, this is just to make it better for the clientele only. Not that we're trimming off 30% of our staff and all those other things.
And it's the communication. You know what I mean? Like look at what Cracker Barrel just did. They did it the wrong way. There was no communication with the customers. There was barely any communication with their franchisees. Like, and they had to end up backpedaling. Like, they got caught with their pants down. So being very forthright with the members and what are the benefits to them and why is this a great change, not just for them, because everybody's going to fear change. They're going to push back against it. It's human nature. So if you're going to make this change, first of all, you got to just rip the Band-Aid off and decide when it's happening, but guide them, educate them, sell the vision, because if you're sold on the vision and your staff is sold on the vision, then the members will be sold on the vision as well.
So true. It's so true. And I think you hit a big piece. Getting your staff on board on that vision is crucial. When I told my staff we're going to have 15 to 20 minutes in between each session for themselves, like go to the bathroom, get something to eat, they were like, that's amazing. They used to grind through 4 to 8 hours until they were about dead.
Right.
And it truly makes the whole day better. I mean, they have a break. They can go walk around the building, get some sunlight before they have their next group. But it really helped for sure.
So now, even in the midst of running your business, and even if this is before you make all the changes, you get into the supplement business. What led you to get into the supplement business?
Kind of accidental in a way. Number one, my wife and I were trying to have kids, and we were going through IVF and all those type of things. She was diagnosed with heavy metal poisoning. And we found out it was coming from the protein I was selling in my gym. It was just a random brand of protein. I'm not going to pick on any particular company because a lot didn't have them in there. But, and I was training a lot of NFL guys at that time. Like 20 years of NFL dudes in my gym at that point in my life. And they were getting drug tested and things like that. And the wheels were turning like, wow, all right, there has to be a better solution to this. So I started, I've been around for a long time. I used to go to the Arnold Classic forever. So I knew people in the supplement industry. It's always been a dreary and kind of dirty industry, to be honest with you. I don't think a lot of people would probably argue that. And I happened to, full disclosure, I was selling a commercial stripper on Craigslist out of my house that my wife didn't want anymore. And this guy came and picked it up, and I had my shirt on from my gym. It was in the middle of the day, and he asked me if I worked there. I'm like, I own it. And, no way, he's like, my boss wants to meet you. And his boss is the president of a manufacturing company here in Pittsburgh. So I went and I met with him, long story short, and he became my mentor. He knew what I wanted to do, and he taught me what to do. And he also inadvertently taught me what not to do. I learned a ton. And he kind of got me off the ground. And then, we were doing that for about 2 years with my own gym brand. I learned quickly. I'm like, oh, we're going to make this protein. It's going to be so clean. And it was super clean, but it tasted awesome. My members were like, oh my gosh, I guess a $300 or $400 a month member has to taste good. Went back to the drawing board, and then I'm like, man, I need a lot of inventory. And Corey knows a friend of mine named Colby. He has a gym in Virginia, in Haymarket, Virginia. I called him up. I said, hey, dude, I'm going to send you some samples of this protein we just made. I can get your label on it. Would you do it? No, no, send me some samples. He's like, man, that stuff's pretty good. Didn't even know how to do it. We weren't even using we got his label on there, and then he starts selling. And so, hey, I heard Colby selling protein or something you have. Yeah. And that's how it started. So I had that mentor helping me with that process for about 2 years. He was like, I think, man, like it would kind of just stagnate for a while. I was working in the gym, and then, this was we started in 2017, got toward the end of 19. He was, if you want to do this you think you can do it on your own? I'm like, I think I can. He just figure it out and go do it. I need the room in my distribution. That kind of sucks. Biggest blessing ever. I took it as like a challenge. Like I don't think he really believed that I could do it. So then I went like full bore, and then I was into it for about 3 months, and the world closed. Every gym owner had time on their hands. Hey man, you want to make some money selling supplements? And then your gym's closed. We went from like dealing with about 10 gyms, but when 2020 ended, we were probably over 60 at that point. We were figuring out systems big time because we were building them as we were growing. I just kind of put a halt on growing for a while. We figured out, I'm like, we gotta run it just like the gyms, like really tight knit. Like, why are these other supplement companies failing? Over promise, under deliver, and they run out of capital and they can't find inventory. I really took my time and figured that stuff out before we. And it's funny, Rick Mayo knew I was doing this, and I saw him out in Arizona. Now I knew he was getting the franchise with Howard going. He goes, hey man, I know you got the stuff that's done. I'll take offense to this. You're gonna make a ton of mistakes. You're gonna screw up real bad. you're still around in 2 years, I'll use you. Right. That's him too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Your stuff's good. He goes, but I just make me believe you can run the business really successful. And 2 years later, I saw another event. He goes, hey man, I've been only hearing good things. You're doing a couple of those smaller franchises. I'm gonna call next week. And then we've been serving alloys since 2002. That was awesome. They're opening a new gym. It's busy. That's my story, Cliff Notes version on how we got started. And then all my friends, like Corey and you guys, I love the similar gym models. Knowing that business really well, and what the people are going to buy, what products they need. I'm not making any kind of too crazy, weird, earthy products from some country we never heard of. Most of the things that we have are what our gym goers are using. That's that's how we did it.
And
I actually ran out of my house for, when I first started until I had about 40 skids in my basement. My wife's like, this is crazy. And I had employees. My daughter would go, hey, Mr. Eric used the bathroom 3 times today. I'm like, all right. So I finally found a distribution center that we bought with all the, with the business and stuff like that. So we own our own brick and mortar distribution center. We've had that since 2020. It's in Weirton, West Virginia, which is only about 25 minutes. We love wild and wonderful West Virginia.
Yeah, that's a very tough industry to break into, because you have the big players, and when you do see somebody break in, like a First Form or something, that they have such capital behind them and you actually did the research, you tested it at your gym, some other smaller gyms, like the training gym side, supplement side, better than anybody else out there on the market. The other ones are going for the giant volume deals, and you're really in it as a gym owner operator yourself, saying, how can I better service my members using this product versus just straight volume deals?
Corey, that's the biggest differentiator that we have. Running the gym's hard. Like no one's gonna, oh, that's the easiest thing in the world. It's a hard business, right? They understand what gym owners or their managers, they don't want to deal with. They don't want to deal with putting an order in and 2 weeks later, hey, I never got my stuff, or whatever those things are. You don't want to have inventory. Like you don't require anyone to order 25 chocolate protein. Order 1 if you want. You use the KISS rule. Keep it simple, stupid. But knowing how that gym business functions makes us just a great chance to have success. And I feel like there's no one else I've come across the supplement industry that kind of knows that target market like we do, and ultimately we know how to sell them. Not only when people sign up with us, them the products to sell and label them and all that cool stuff, we teach them and their entire team how to actually sell them, proven play that we've built. Those are the things, and it's scalable. Like no one wants another hat to wear. Can we bake this into our systems, and can it not give us an entire another job that nobody also give our clients more value, and our business and all those type of things. So much consideration is built into those plays and those sales systems and things like that. But yeah, that's really how we broke into it. We don't go after your LA Fitnesses and places like that. We want the gym owner, the gym business, that they know their clients' names, they know what their dog's name is, how many times a week they come in, because the point of sale is going to be better, the end result's going to be better, the word of mouth's going to be better. It's a huge win. Man, is it fun for me. I've done every sales call that we have, all the gyms that we do, and I'm like, we talk subs for half the time, and we talk gym business. It's really cool.
Yeah, and I will say that my clients that I've referred to you that bring gym subs on, the one thing that they say, aside from the product being good and tasty and actually works, is the education that you provide them and their staff, and these playbooks that you have, and how and when to rotate products, so it's never setting in one place for a long period of time, and all of that thought that goes into actually how to sell it in a smaller gym. There are definite systems behind it. And like you said, they're not bringing on a whole nother job or a whole nother department that needs to be managed.
For sure. We try to keep it simple, and if there's something is presented to me from one of my staff, hey, I got a great idea to get free sales. If we can't do it in one of my gyms, then there's no way I'm going to teach someone else to do it. Like there's some people that we work with do some crazy stuff to drive revenue. But I know that very few people could replicate that to the cost. There's a girl out in California that does just incredible. She blows me away. I would never do that in my gym, that amount of work. generate that amount of revenue, because I know it can't be consistent from a model. If someone ever asked me about it, yeah, you can try it. Like I have tried it, and it didn't work like that. So having those systems, and then a lot of this stuff I did create from being in the gym business, and then on the boots on the ground. But we hired a really smart retail marketing expert on our team, and wow, and she just sharpens the sword. Like she'll go into our gym and just sit there and watch for a couple of minutes, observe what happens. That's okay. She busted me so bad. We used to get live samples out, at the end of the workout, right? You're hot, you're tired, you're sweaty. A little BCA before you hit the road, and then maybe you'll buy one. It's like, why do you give them at the end? I'm like, well, it's like philosophically, they're tired, they need protein, whatever. And she's like, what, they just want to get to either work or go home. They don't want to then go get in line at the front desk. Try it in the beginning. I'm like, okay, I'll give them the sip, a little sample cup when they walk in. Then they thought about it the entire time they're in there, and they bought. I mean, she proved me wrong day one. I'm like, well,
how dare you?
How
dare you? Yeah, I've been doing that for years, but oh well.
All three of us, we own gyms, similar models. We know our people. We know their dogs' names. Some of the staff house sit for them. You talk about those things, and you can tell that you've lived that gym owner life. You've lived that small business owner life, and you've transferred the things that work, the simplicity, the communication, the connections, the humanity of it. You've transferred that to the Gym Subs business. And that's the one thing that I can really feel when you talk about these things. And when you live that life also, you understand those things. So I have an appreciation for how those things come across and come through. And no doubt that's a huge part of the reason why it's been successful and will continue to be successful.
For sure. Trey, those systems have definitely transferred over to the supplement side of things. And then, with systems like we have in our gyms, you have checks and balances. How many sessions someone's coming in per week, all the retention. It's a very, very different, but it's very similar. It's actually a lot less moving parts than our fitness business. You have a lot of products, right? But that's one system, for managing inventory and things like that. Because if we had 100 people in the room, you said, how many times have you ordered from a particular supplement company and they ran out of a flavor or a product? Everyone's going to raise it. It's something we really don't do, because we have a really tight system for it. Yes, can something crazy happen, like a drought, some raw ingredient can't be sourced? It can happen, but it's super rare. We usually have enough. Whatever business you're running, the more systematic things you.
Well, and you and I had the conversation in Providence about getting Gym Subs in our gym, and it's thankfully it's only been a couple weeks, so I haven't followed up on it yet. But but it's on the list.
We make it so easy, it's just like but it always. I'm glad you said that though, Trey, because if right when you came back from Providence, you probably had a lot of stuff going on. Give it the right attention. Always tell gym owners, like, look, I promise you, I'll be the least busy salesperson you've ever dealt with. The time has to be right for you. You can give me 2 weeks of your attention. You're gonna kill it. Give me 1 day of your attention. It's put on the shelf. It's not gonna do nearly as well. That's a great point. Yeah, I haven't bugged you. I know you've been, you're regrouping and you're getting things, settled for the fall and all those type of things.
And the beauty part about this is we can call this initial sales call. So
that's it.
We're still moving the ball down the.
Oh, so good.
So we talked a little bit about this going before we came on. So you've got your 2 gyms that are doing well, and a possibility for some expansion coming forward. How, with possible expansion there and the growth of Gym Subs, what do you see going forward? How will they scale to bring on the additional possibility of a gym, the additional business from Gym Subs? How can you scale those things to get going?
So I think, a lot of listeners are going to be on the fitness side of things. And, we've had 2 locations, one for almost 18 years and the other for a little over 5 years. And we're ready now for a third. And someone's like, why are you ready for a third now? We've got the right people. If you try to fit a square peg in a round hole, it's not going to go too well. You get some of these rock stars in your gym, and if you can only promote them and move them up the ladder to a certain point, especially when it comes to compensation. So we have a really good crew of young, energetic, and charismatic employees on the fitness side of things. And I think we have one in particular that can probably run his own location at this point. So we'll take the one that started our second location and he'll go open up our third, which he loves the chase. It's something through meetings, lots of meetings. Like, hey, what do you want to do? Well, I didn't realize that. He loves the chase. He wants to go and chase that new one, get it going. He loves the newness of it. The other guys, like, you know what? I like this to be my established location. Cool. Easy, right? So we're going to backfill him with an employee that's kind of the manager at this point, and other guy will go in and open the third one. And then we get that one up and running. We get some backfill there. Maybe he'll go and do a fourth or a fifth or, however it might happen. Not until the right people are in place. It's hard to find those type of folks that want to get into this industry for the right reasons. Can they make some serious money and do really well? Absolutely. But they got to be in the right position to do that.
When you work with gyms and training gyms, and we've been in this world for a while, I'm kind of taken back at times when I go into a gym and they don't have profit centers. Like they just live or die off of that membership. And my mentor was Tom Plummer. In our seminars, did a whole section on profit centers and dollar per member visit and things like that. That it's always been something that I ran in my gyms. And talk to the audience that might not have profit centers and to why it's past necessary. Like if you did I can't imagine running a gym without profit centers. And then what would kind of be like that first step? What would they need to look at business wise? Is it the right time, you talked about with Trey, to start their first maybe profit center?
Sure. It's a great question. It's a really good point. Like if you don't have extra streams of revenue coming into your door besides just the fitness membership or the training session, if that might be what it is, then yes, I would highly recommend looking at profit centers to add and seeing how you can bake them into your fitness business within your system. You just can't say, okay, I'm going to start selling t-shirts. You have to have a plan in place. Like, are you going to free sell them so you don't have 50 triple X sitting in your gym that you paid for that you're probably never going to sell? You're going to be like putting them out at like events and stuff for free. I don't know. So really coming up with some type of simple plan. Simple. I use the word simple. The least amount of moving parts is the way to go. When it comes to supplements, easiest thing I can tell people is use the power of 10. You get 10 people in your gym to buy supplements from you per month. If you can do that, you're going to revenue over $1,000 in gross revenue. You're going to buy a protein and a greens that's way over $100 right there, retail value. You're going to put half of that in your pocket. So you're at least putting $500 to $600 in your pocket, clear, just from selling to 10 members. So if you have 50 members and you got to get 20%, if you have 100 members, you need 10%. 20% is kind of the gold standard. If you can get 20% of your membership to purchase retail items from you in general, t-shirts, supplements, you're doing pretty good. You're not doing amazing, but you're doing good. If you can generate $2,500 a month in total retail revenue, that's $30,000 a year. That's my wife is on the side, but 30 grand a year, and you put half of that in your pocket. Can that pay for a part-time employee? Probably. That's how I look at it. My supplements knock out some of my employees. If I'm not paying them, that's extra coming my way. And some people say, that's cool, but I look at it as I want to pay my rent with my retail. Awesome. Great idea. Set a goal for yourself that you have something to achieve too. Yeah, and I think that the best advice I can give you or what you're adding into your gym, whether it's healthy meal delivery, has to be simple. You have to do a ton of work and all these different moving parts. It's probably not good. It might last for a couple of months, but it'll fizzle out. You're going to get busy. Our number one mission, serve that warm body coming through the door. You're not. And you can sell supplements, t-shirts, MyZone, boxing gloves, whatever it might be. Serve that person first. Now, can you still serve them at a super high level and make some money on the side with a revenue stream or a profit center? Absolutely, for sure. Make that seat more valuable. They're buying it from someplace. They should be buying it from you, right?
Yeah. And being private labeled, it makes them loyal to your brand versus, Dymatize or one of the other brands out there that they could get at a GNC or Vitamin Shop. They're only getting this from a trust net. Now, if you've done your job as a gym, they have trust in you. So now they're going to go with what you recommend. And then again, you're just building that customer loyalty.
100%, Corey, because you said the key word, they trust you. They come to your gym, they look at that sign, they go in there, they feel good, they feel safe. So now when you give them that 2-pound protein with your brand on it, oh, it's got to be good. It's from Corey or it's from Trey. Like that, it's got to be best, There's no artificial sweeteners, nothing in there. It's FDA approved. Oh, sweet, awesome. You get that NSF. That's pretty cool too. And yes, you are representing your brand at a high level. One of the most common things that a lot of gyms do, like we all get hit. Hey, will you donate to my kid's softball team or whatever? Like we always try to give them a silent auction item. Look, you're having a silent auction. You put your 2-pound protein. You put a 2-week VIP pass to your gym and a shaker. You're not doing a T-shirt. You have to get some weird size for somebody or whatever. Then they go home and they try that protein. Like, this is really good. Their gym's good. Let's check those guys out. And it happens all the time. You're sitting there, those options, all these people coming through that, it's really good. One thing, a sidebar note, I'll just give a free tip that I stole from someone. Forget who it was, but it was a good tip. And it just made me think of that on the fundraiser thing. And we just worked this past summer for us. When you get the thing, hey, will you do an ad in my son's football program that no one reads? I'm sorry. It's quarter page. It's only $500. Doing a new logo. I don't have time to get it over to you. Do you mind just sending this email out to your list for me? Let me know how much it would be. Got like 4 people in from that. It's amazing. It was a volleyball team. It was awesome. Yeah, we'll do it. Our logo's messed up. I'm not gonna trouble you guys a thing in your. If you can send us the list, or we can send you the email and you can send it out, and ECC us on it, that'd be awesome. Amazing.
Like
you can
idea.
usually negotiate the price. So you're not printing anything. I'm not like $100.
Right.
It really works. I was like, it was a very tangible item I took from somewhere. I forget who. Someone I did one of these calls with.
Yeah. I did one this summer. It was the same thing. It was a little league team, and I stole this. Forget where I stole it from. And they said, donate to our T-shirts, and I was like, I absolutely. Like, how much for our uniforms? And I was like, how much for it? Great. Here's what I'll do. We'll cover the cost. There's 1,000 houses out here. We're going to take this, and 18 kids are going to go flyer because they can't get mad at the, a 12-year-old walking up there being like, hi here, and I was like, this is great. So they got what they wanted. I got, 1,000, ads distributed. So good stuff.
Solicitation at its best.
Yeah, that's right. Child labor at its best.
Jason, all of our clients, because they trust us, at some point, almost all of them have asked us, hey, what supplements do you take? What do you recommend? What should I get? So they're already asking. They've already asked. They've been asking forever. And now you just have them in. You've already got them. You have a captive audience anyway. So why not just say, well, funny you should ask, because here we go.
Yes, having that in your culture, Trey, having your staff using the products, you always recommend part of our onboarding process. Look, give your staff the products that cost. That's like, you're not going to make money off of your trainers, but we're already doing you a good service by working for you. Yep. This is a great work for them. They can get it cheaper from you than they could on Amazon, and they're getting a more premium product. I mean, we're in the top 5% of all premium products in the country. So that's usually a very easy sell. I'm like, oh, my trainer thinks this one's better or whatever. I never have that email come across my inbox. Everybody wants to be cool like you guys and the trainer, right? They want to wear the same shoes. Like, well, where'd you get that shirt? They're going to Dick's and getting the same shirt. They want to take the same supplements that you are too. So it's a keynote point, because you and your staff aren't using them, then most likely very few of your clients.
We did a podcast for W3 that uses your product, and we did.
She's doing really well, by the way.
She's killing it.
Yeah.
And we did like the top 5 supplements that everybody should be taking, and just a 30-minute podcast. And it's amazing how many comments. It's the hands down the most viewed podcast that she had. And there were people that never asked about supplements. I think because fear of looking foolish, that they don't know what to even ask. And they tuned into this podcast, and then immediately supplement sales increased, because it touched an audience that was almost fearful of, oh, I don't do supplements because I really don't know what they are. And so it was a great way to educate them on it. And it gave, great content, and you have good marketing tools that you can put up for social media and things like that. So it was just
we try to do as much as we can for that gym owner, like the one you're talking about. So all she has to do is really copy and paste it, grow an Instagram account or email list. She runs the play. I watch her social. She runs the play.
yeah, they do really well.
Awesome. Yeah. One thing I will say, this is another bonus tip just for anyone listening that does have a gym, that we added about 2 years ago. For our own members, and they can bring a family member, a friend. We try to get them to sign up, obviously, to the gym. We do one every quarter. We do a nutrition seminar. Bring your best question, and it's after we close at night. She's around 7:15. Our last session ends around 7. And then we bring a guest speaker in. We always talk supplements. And anyone that comes to the nutritional seminar gets 25% off anything we sell in the gym. We actually broke over $3,000 in one night just for people buying that particular night. It gives your clients great value, right? They feel valued. You're giving them something extra for free. New people to potentially come in your door and sign up for maybe a challenge or a trial that you have going on, and you're going to sell them all your stuff. What about the InBody? Oh, the InBody is a great tool. Did you know it actually tells you how many grams of protein you need, how many calories? We just weave that in. We have an entire script for those seminars. So anyone that signs up with us, they have their 4 for the year right there. They just use it. And I say, you get however you want, but it works really well. We've tweaked it for like 4 years now. We got it down pretty good.
So when you are, I guess, how are your hats divided? At what point, and this is to tie things back, what part of you is still gym owner and what part of your day is gym subs? How much are you dividing your time between the two?
It's a good question, Trey. I'm about 50-50. I used to have a lot of overlap with employees between the gym subs company and the gym side of things. And as of this year, 2025, it's completely separate. That makes it way easier. Having it separate, I can go and play in this sandbox and get pull stuff over here. Then I can go in this sandbox and play over here. There's no overlap. Overlap, it made sense to me in the beginning. Then it's like, oh, well, I thought so-and-so was going to do it. Accountability is easier. Hey, did you do X, Y, and Z? Well, no, I thought it's very cut and dry. It's very black and white. Probably about 50-50. I have my weeks changed week to week because I travel. Like I'm going to Tim Lyons ProFit event this weekend in Nashville. I'm home for a couple of days, and I go out to Alloy's headquarters to be there for, we're doing some education stuff with all of their locations. It's just crazy. Then I'll be home for a couple of weeks. So then, my schedule will change there, but I have it allotted every single week. Right? They know, people that work in each company know when they're going to meet with me, know when they're going to present stuff to me, and all those type of things. So again, it's a system. If I didn't have it, well, we're killing it. We're doing great. All of a sudden, you're not doing great.
Doing great till you're not.
You got to be consistent, and it's easy to say, have I been inconsistent in my business years? For sure. And I've learned from it. Do that. Fortunately, it's never sunk me, but it's educated me to just be consistent, map out your schedule, those type of things.
Well, anybody that's done it has definitely made the mistakes, and we all know what not to do because we've all done it several times, much to our chagrin and bottom line. When you talk about the systems in place, how hands-on, not necessarily hands-on, but how the people under you, the people that are working for you, you have your systems in place. Are they taking care of a lot of the day-to-day work and you're overseeing that? I mean, everybody's got their roles, I'm sure, but how do you have those things divided out so that you keep the systems in place and can travel and can build business and can do the sales calls that you're doing?
Sure. The gym side of things, I have an operations director. So she oversees both gyms. So let's just say we have a billing issue. It's not coming to my inbox. It's coming to her. Let's say my zone quits working. She's going to take care of that. Like she has her roles, her responsibilities. Client upset about, they thought they were overcharged or whatever. That's going to her. Like I'm not, those are things that she's going to handle. You get what you pay for. I pay her really well. She works boots on the ground 4 mornings at my one location because I need her to be in there, living it, breathing it, understanding it. Now clients and trainers are going to go to her and say, hey, that's going on. And then it trickles down to me. I still make it a point to meet with my staff at my original location every single week, whether it's Zoom or in person. And they know that. Like I'll go in at 3:00. hey, I'm going to grab you for 5 minutes. How's it going? I have a checklist, so I know that keep myself accountable to make sure that those things happen. Tuesday mornings, it's a gym summit meeting. Our operations director and our facility leader in our other location meet every single Tuesday morning at 9:30, unless I'm usually home on Tuesdays. We know that that's going to happen. Friday mornings, I meet with my executive director of gym subs. We go over all weird things that may have happened. Most of the time, it's kind of little things because we talk all the time. I use Voxer. I don't know if you guys use Voxer or not. It's a walkie-talkie app, so it's just constant, of what's going on. If it's something serious, they know to email me. Don't text. I want to be able to handle it. I want to be able to give you a serious response. I want to get a text on a mouth. We'll get back to that tomorrow and forget. Shoot me an email. But again, that's clearly portrayed to them. Do they not do it sometimes? Yeah, and I tell them, I'll email them back their text message. Send this to me in an email, please. And I'll keep it in my inbox until it's addressed, professionally. But those are just things like giving yourself guardrails and boundaries. Another big thing to make it work. You don't, you just get stretched too thin and then things fall to the ground. It kind of works for me, but everyone's different. I've learned that too, how they function. But, having those guys kind of work there, and we run our gym probably similar to you guys. We have a facility leader, we have the trainer, we have a manager.
Sure, but it's always good to hear, especially being stretched thin or being involved with two successful businesses, how those things are divided up and how those things are systematized, to use your terminology, to make sure that things don't slip through the cracks and to make sure that everybody is getting that face time, whether it's in person or whether it's in Zoom, to be able to ask those questions or to be able to bounce ideas off or to be able to just exchange that time and that communication so that everybody stays on the same page and everything keeps going and growing in the right direction.
Sure. And as soon as you lose track of that, then things start falling through the cracks and you just develop issues, and you're not going to be as successful and all those type of things. So we also have a real estate business as well. That's a commercial business that my wife and I have. And that's a whole other system, that the gym business itself is a great springboard to, one, earn capital to do other things with, and also build systems. Like if you can figure out how to run a successful training gym, then you could run a lot of other things very easily.
Yep. And you're making a difference. I mean, that's the one thing.
You're making a difference, Corey.
You could also do the same thing as a State Farm insurance guy, but you're really making a big difference in people's lives. And like you said, once you understand systems and the power of systems and power of building your team, then you now start to see the next business. So it's less daunting. I'm not going to say it's easier, but it's less daunting to get up and running.
100%. The biggest challenge for the fitness business is, one, you have employees. Most of us have employees. And then you have, maybe 100, 200, maybe 300 if you're really lucky. Clients that are paying you $200, $300, $400, $500 a month. Not going to be the easiest person to serve, all at once. So if you can pin that down and have very little issues there, then running a supplement company with 12 employees versus a gazillion that you may have in something else, 12 total people, or whatever it might be, it's something where you don't have any, right? It's going to be a lot easier to do. But yeah, pinning that stuff down is crucial for sure.
Well, amen to all that. And Jason, we are going to wrap this thing up. We know you got all sorts of other things to keep you busy. So we appreciate your time for coming on and shooting the breeze with us and in having this sales call. Let's say it. Look, absolutely. And thankfully the other one will be on the phone. So it will be off the record. So whatever is said is, we don't have to worry about cleaning up.
I love it.
But we thank you for joining us on the Coaches Unscripted podcast. We hope today's stories have inspired and empowered you. Please connect with us on Instagram at Coaches Unscripted Podcast. Give us a like, subscribe, comment, and share to continue the conversation and stay updated for future episodes. Follow Jason on Instagram at Coach Jason DeRose and at team_GymSups. Jason, we thank you for joining us. For Jason DeRose, Corey Smallwood, I'm Trey Belcher. Keep coaching from the heart and building strong communities.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.